How good is this? Saturday Sports Shorts. G'day, Andrew Daddo is my name. And look, given that we can't play sports at the moment the way we'd like to, and listen, I love Saturday sports. I love Saturday sports now. I loved it even more when I was a kid, polishing my boots, getting ready to play. If we can't do those things at the moment, we thought we'd do something really similar, which is to get ready to play our sports. So that's what Saturday Sports Shorts is. We've got an absolute legend in Australian sport. We'll have a new one each week. We'll do some warm-ups. We'll do some exercises. What do you need? You need some room. So just like look around you. How's it all? Like, have you got some room to like get your arms out wide, bit of jumping, bit of jogging? I have no idea what's going to happen, but I figure it could be those things. Get some space and let's introduce our very first guest. It is Caitlin Bassett. Now, she is the captain of the Australian Diamonds. That's our netball team. She's an absolute legend of the sport. She's won 2 world championships. She's come second in one. She's won 2 Commonwealth gold medals, or 1 Commonwealth gold, 1 silver Commonwealth medal, and she's just a brilliant athlete. So give it up for Caitlin Bassett. How are you, Caitlin?
Good morning. I'm fantastic, thank you.
Hey, listen, how's your ISO going? Clearly you're not completely alone. You've got a couple of mates there.
Yeah, look, it's actually not been too bad for me. I've got lots of fur company. I've got Chino, and I've got 2 assistance puppies that I'm starting to train.
Okay, so how do you, like, so that's going to be a guide dog or a dog helper?
So she's going to be for a child with an intellectual disability. So
wow.
As strict training as a guide dog, thankfully.
Okay, so you're not just like a brilliant netballer, you're a brilliant human being as well. Listen, it's cold all over the country. So what about, to get ourselves moving, for you guys at home, get ready. This is the time to get some space. Caitlin, let's get warm.
Look, I live in a giant warehouse, so I've got lots of space to move this morning. But what we're going to do to get sweaty and to warm up is we are going to start with some fun activities. So to get our feet and our brain warm this morning, to start off with on the spot, if I say run, we're going to run on the spot, okay? If I say jump, we're going to jump on the spot, all right? Pretty easy. Run and jump. Chino, get out of the way. All right, are we ready? Let's get the clock started. We have 30 seconds at the moment. And 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Running on the spot. As quick as we can, let's get those feet moving. Good. And I say jump. We're going to start jumping up and down. Good. And back to run. Good work, guys. We're almost there. Keep running. And now jumping on the spot as quickly as you can. I hope we're feeling warm now. Running. We're almost there. Good, keep up, move faster. Get those arms moving and jumping on the spot. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And we're done. Woo.
Caitlin.
Warm down. Let's add another 2 exercises.
Is this what you do before a game?
This is 100% the type of stuff we do. So it's all about having a bit of fun, getting our feet moving before we get serious and into the netball stuff.
Okay, great. All right, so everyone get your room. Make sure you got your space. Caitlin, back to you.
All right, this time we're going to do some skipping, and if I say dance, you're going to pick a dance move. All right, so if I say skip, we're going to skip on the spot, nice and high knees. If I say dance, I want you to pick your favourite dance move. I'm sure there's a dad dance in there if you want to.
Yeah, I'm sprinkler. I'm thinking sprinkler.
Oh, the sprinkler. Andrew wants a sprinkler. Okay, are we ready? Let's start the top here. Dance and skip. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to skip to start off with. Nice and high. Good. Let's dance. That's it. Show us your good dance moves. Excellent. We're going to go back to our skipping. Nice and high on the spot. Good. Keep it up. We're almost there. Back to our dancing. Good. That's it. And skipping. Woo. Hope we're getting warm. And we're almost finished. Let's go. Write it out with our best dance moves. Good, and stop. Woo. Okay.
What music do you have in your head there? Like what disco are you at?
I'm all about the Britney Spears, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Finish off with, Chino wants to join in. We're going to have all 4 of those moves in one go. So we're going to have our dance, we'll have our jump, we'll have our run, and we'll have our skip. So let's get our brains switched on. We have 30 seconds left of our warm-up exercise. Let's get that on the clock. All right, ready? 3, 2, and 1. Let's start with our skip. Good, nice and high. Good, into our jump. Good, quick as you can. Get those feet moving. We're going to run. Excellent work. All right, let's go into our dance move. Mix it up. Choose something different if you want to.
Go, Brittany. Go,
Yes.
Brittany.
All right, into our skip. Good, let's go back to dance. Excellent work. All right, we're going to run. Good, we're going to jump. Almost finished. Keep it up and stop. Are you feeling warm, Andrew?
I'm feeling it. I just even seeing you like get warm. It's brilliant. Hey, listen, we're going to do something a little bit sort of harder in a minute. But were you always good? If you know what I mean, like, you know, you're the captain of the Diamonds, but when did you become a good player? Because we're leading into something called our Saturday Sports Legends.
Yeah, look, I started playing netball very late. So when I was 11, most kids are starting netball when they're 5 or 6 these days. So it definitely took me a long time to get what you call good. And I'm working on it today. So yes, many years of practice to get good at netball.
Okay, but you started when you were 11, so that's good. All right, let's meet. You're gonna love this kid. This is something that it's one of my favourite parts, the Saturday Sports Legends. See, we all had a moment when we were kids that when we were playing and you did something fantastic. So our Saturday Sports Legend is a kid called George. Check this guy out.
Hi, I'm George. My coach gave us all nicknames. Mine is Up the Guts. We have Razzle Dazzle and Jet. Those are only a few of the names. One time I ran straight up the guts and scored a try, and that's how I got my nickname.
George, Up the Guts. In case you don't play rugby or you don't know about it, up the guts means it's not like your guts. It's up the guts is up the middle of the field. So look, if you had a special sporting moment, I remember, you know, back when I was like under 12s cricket and I hit a 4, but I remember the ball. It was outside the off stump and it jagged up quite firmly and I got the bat to it, which was an SS Jumbo. That was my bat. Oh, love that bat. And I got it out there and I hit it and went like that. And then my dad's car was parked in the same direction that the ball went. I looked up and there was a dad and he goes, yes. Couldn't believe I'd hit a 4. If you have a moment like that, or even a moment that didn't go so well, let us know. Talk to your mum and dad. They can send it to us and we can show it here on Saturday Sport Shorts. But I tell you, we've talked a bit. Maybe it's time to, you know, work out a little bit with Caitlin. So I think it's time to get sweaty.
Alrighty, guys, time to kick it up a notch. We're going to get our feet moving because that's not only important in netball, but in other sports as well. So finding some space, we're going to start with the pitter-patter, okay? The pitter-patter just means really quick feet on the spot, okay? So in between every exercise, we will go back to that pitter-patter. Starting off with, if I say to the side, we're going to tap our foot to the side and then back the pitter-patter. If I say forward, we're going to jump forward and then back on the spot. If I say back, we're going to jump back and then forward to the spot that we started. And if I say spin around, you're going to spin around in a circle as quickly as you can. All right, who's ready to get sweaty? Let's start that clock. We have 30 seconds. All righty, 3, 2, 1. On the pitter-patter, as quick as those little feet can go. Good, we're going to go to the side. Excellent, we're going to jump forward. Good, we're going to spin around. Nice, keep those pitter-patter feet going. We're going to go to the side. Good, we're going to spin around again. Let's jump backwards. Good, we're almost finished. Jump forwards. Excellent, keep those pitter-patter feet. We're going to go to the side. Good, to the side. Good, and spin around. And we are done. Excellent work, guys. All right, our next activity, let's get those feet moving. We're going to get our lunges going, okay? So it might look a little bit silly, but the aim of a lunge, I'll demonstrate here, is to make our legs look like 2 right angles, okay? So think about a square. We've got one in my front leg here and one in my back leg here. So we're going to get down as low as we can without touching our knee to the ground. We want to have it off the ground, and then we're going to stand up again. All right, so to start off with, let's step forward, nice big step. We're going to start the clock. We have 30 seconds worth of lunges. Let's go. And that's it. Let's get down into that lunge. Good, nice and slow. Pop up. We're going to step back. Let's go our other foot forward. Good, sinking down nice and low. This should be making our legs nice and warm. Let's try a walking lunge. So we're going to start from one side, step forward, nice and slow and deep. Good, we're going to step forward our other foot. We're almost finished. Nice and deep lunges. Good. Going back the other way. We've got time for one more lunge. And we're done. Woo! Legs should be feeling nice and warm now.
Yeah, Caitlin, how many lunges do you do before a game? Like when you're even better, how many lunges would you do a day?
Well, for me at the moment, I'm in rehab for my knee, so all of my program is lunging. I do backwards lunging, I do side lunging, I do forward, I do slow, I do fast. It's all about working those legs to get my knees strong. That's what lunging helps with.
Wow. So would you do 1,000?
Oh, maybe close. Nah, probably more like 100. I'd go.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not 1,000. I don't think I'd be able to walk very well.
Okay. Now I know you've got one more exercise for us.
We sure do. Our last exercise is our squat, okay? So we're going to work with different depths of squats. Chino wants to help out again. Okay, if I say heads, we're going to start with our hands on our heads. If I say shoulders, we're going to drop down a little bit, so we're sticking our bottom out, back nice and flat. If I say knees, we're going to go down even lower. And if I say toes, we're going to get down and touch our toes, okay? We've got 30 seconds of squats. Let's get that clock going. All right, are we ready? And go, starting on shoulders. Good, we're gonna get down low and touch our toes. Nice, up to our knees. Good, let's go heads. I'll turn to the side so you can see how flat my back is. Let's go knees. Good, shoulders. Let's go all the way down to toes. We're almost finished. Up to our knees. Good, heads. Let's go knees. Hold it there for a few seconds, almost finished, and done. Woo. I'm feeling good, Andrew.
Yeah, that is the burn, isn't it? I mean, that's hardcore.
It sure is.
All right, so listen, you can't overdo it, right? So you want to just like do a few and then just relax. This is to the old blokes, for mums and dads, I'm asking that question. You know, like just be gentle with yourselves.
Yes, it's all about quality, not necessarily quantity. So I'd rather do less, but at a very good quality than overdo it and risk hurting myself.
All right, really good point. Hey, listen, it's important to keep your body, going, but your brain is something as well. So you can play along with this one as well. This is the Saturday Sports Shorts quiz. Yeah, so listen, I don't know how you want to work this out at home. You raise your hands, you yell out, right? It is a competition. If you want it to be a competition, mum and dad, what are the prizes? Your beauty, a banana. Okay, good. Here we go. Question 1 in our Saturday Sports Shorts quiz. Now, what is in netball, how long can you hold the ball before a penalty is called? Is it A, 3 seconds, B, 5 seconds, or C, 7 seconds? If you said A, you are correct. It is 3 seconds. Imagine if it was 10. That said 10 seconds. See, I didn't have my glasses on. But, there you are. Now I can see you quite well. It's 3 seconds. That's how long you're allowed to hold a basketball for. Next question. Which country invented basketball? Is it A, New Zealand? Is it B, Australia? Or is it C, America? Bit of a trick question, this one. Who invented netball? The answer is C. It's America. So this is back in 1891. The guy's name was James Naismith. He invented basketball to give the young men something to do, and then they had women's basketball, and then somehow in the next couple of years, the women stopped dribbling the ball. They just threw the ball to each other. Then they split the court in 3. They went outside and they played on grass, and it became, when they took away the backboards, then it became just a hoop with a net, so they called it netball. First rules were made in 1900, and then they were fixed eventually in 1960. But how about that? The Americans gave us netball. They're not the best in the world, though, are they? All right, last question. It's a good one. How many rings are there on the Olympic flag? Is it 7 rings for A? Is it 9 rings for B? Or is it 5 rings for C? What do you reckon? Caitlin, what do you reckon?
Oh, it's a tough one. Look, netball's not an Olympic sport, so unfortunately, unless I switch codes, I'm not going to be there. But I do love the Olympics, and I think it's C, 5 rings.
I think you are absolutely right. Did you? Now, your dogs didn't get that one right, did they? So you're winning the competition at your house.
Yes.
So I hope you've had a good contest at your place. Hey, Caitlin, just while you're there, before we get to your super skills, can you just clear something up for me? It's kind of a quiz question. How does a game of netball start? And like now, is it A, the whistle, or is it B, the throw?
So if you're a netball nuffy like me, you know that a netball game starts when the centre jumps in the centre circle and passes the ball. It's called a centre pass. However, if you want to be technical, a netball game starts when the umpire blows their whistle. They start the control of the start of the game.
Okay, so then the answer is the whistle.
The whistle, that's correct.
Okay, but as far as you're concerned, it's the throw.
Yes, it's the throw.
But it's the whistle.
It is the whistle.
No, just wanted to clear that up. All right, look, because you're so good, you have special skills that you can share. So why don't we find out what your sort of Saturday secret is, your sporting secret. How about that? Let's go to Saturday skills.
All right, this is where we can have a little bit of fun. My secret skill involves a netball, or if you don't have one at home, like Andrew does, you can grab a tennis ball, you can grab a pillow, basically anything that you can throw and catch safely at home without breaking any furniture. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a little bit of space. This one's called the throw, clap, and catch. So as the name suggests, you're going to throw the ball. You're going to have to catch it. That's the important part. But in between throwing and catching, you have to clap your hands together. Okay, so it's really important when we're doing this. We want to start with a nice steady base, because if I'm off balance and I throw the ball, I might fall over, and we don't want that. So starting off nice and balanced, we're going to throw the ball up, we're going to clap, and we're going to catch the ball. All right, should we give it a go? Let's go. Throw that ball up, 1 clap, and catch. Pretty easy. Let's make it a little bit harder. Let's try for 2 claps. Good. Let's try for 3. Excellent.
Oh, so only got 2.
As we throw the ball, we want to keep our eyes on it, okay? We need to be watching this ball at all times. And when we're catching, Andrew, show me your catching hands. We want to make sure we have our thumbs behind the netball when we catch it.
Like that?
Like this. Because if I don't catch the ball properly, it's going to hit my thumbs and bounce back instead of hitting me straight in the face. That's very embarrassing.
The falcon, like that one.
I don't want the falcon, okay?
So, but when I was a kid playing footy in Mount Eliza, our coach, Lance Mogford, great guy, he always said to us to have not to put our thumbs together, because playing in Melbourne in the winter, and this is the olden days when the balls were really heavy, if it was waterlogged, it'd come and it could hurt our thumbs. So I think we were taught to catch like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, in netball, we've got a little bit lighter ball, and to be honest, with the speed and power of some of my teammates, I would rather break a thumb than break my nose. All right, so I want you to throw the ball up as high as you can and see how many claps you can do before catching. Are we ready? Let's go. Hey, I got 6. How many did you get at home?
How'd you go? How many people hit the ceiling? How many people had the ceiling fan on and didn't see it and put the ball into the ceiling fan and watch go? Who did that? Huh?
You've done that yourself a few times.
Yeah. Well, that's the sort of house we have. Hey, Caitlin, what a pleasure to talk to you. You've got some great sporting moments, and maybe the best is, but obviously you can call that, it's the 2011 World Championship. You came on, it was against New Zealand, you were behind, you came on at halftime, and then like at the very end of the game, it was tied. Here's a look at what happened. I mean, you've just like literally with a second to go, you've nailed it. Your hair's changed colour, so it was shocking for you. Tell us about that moment. How good was it?
Yeah, that was probably my career highlight to date in 2011 at the World Cup. And I wasn't really expected to play much in that tournament, and I was just lucky enough to get on when we played New Zealand, which is the biggest rivalry between Australia, is our competition against New Zealand. So luckily my teammate Nat passed me the ball in the dying seconds, and I was lucky enough to be able to shoot that winning goal.
And were you nervous in the shot? Like, did you have a sense of I mean, obviously you knew what we were shooting for, but like, does that come into it at all?
I was a little bit nervous, but to be honest, I had missed a goal, which would have won us the game earlier. So I was really just angry with myself, and I wanted to get that goal.
Oh, right. Okay. Hey, listen, we've got some questions from kids who are watching. How do you deal with pre-game nerves?
I love pre-game nerves. For me, it means I'm excited and I'm ready to play. And so when I'm feeling a little bit nervous, I try and use that energy to have a joke, maybe have a little bit of a dance in the change rooms with my teammates. But mostly I just feel like it's a good thing for me to be excited, and I embrace it.
Okay, we've got a question here. Someone's daughter is a goal attack. So what position, you're the shooter.
Yes.
What are your tips for shooting?
So the goal attack is a very hard position because they normally play out in front of me and they have to do all the running as well as shooting goals. So any tips for shooting, I think it's really important when you're practicing, you're also practicing running around and then stopping and doing some shooting. Because if you're just practicing stationary shooting all the time, in a game of netball, that probably never really happens. So we need to practice getting fatigued, running around, and then being able to steady and shoot our goals.
Okay. And when you shoot, what do you look at? Like, do you look at the back of the ring? Do you look at the front of the ring?
I focus on a spot above the ring. So my target is I want the ball to go up, hit that target that I'm aiming at, and drop down into the ring for a nice clear shot.
Okay. How do you stay positive if you're having an off day is one of the questions.
I think when you're having an off day, that's an opportunity to help your teammates. So if I'm missing a lot of goals, I'll do extra work outside the circle and pass the ball to my goal attack so she can shoot more goals. Having an off day, I think, is just, an opportunity to help and bring out the best in someone else's game.
All right. And a really good question here. I have on hand-eye coordination, the person says, I can't catch to save myself. So how do you improve your hand-eye coordination?
Do you know what? It sounds really silly, but start off with small objects. If you can catch a tennis ball or a golf ball, you can catch a big ball really easily. So a lot of the time at training, I'll warm up with a tennis ball or like a really small squishy stress ball, because then when the netball's out on court, it's impossible not to catch this because it's huge.
Okay, that's great advice. And do boys play netball?
They sure do. Boys are great at netball. Often when we're doing tournaments for the Australian Diamonds, we will play against the men's national team because they're very hard competition for us. They can jump really high and run really fast, and it makes our life super tough.
Okay. Now, look, I've got my goal defence bib on now, right? I know you're up against the goalkeeper, but just what is the best move the defensive person can make when they're playing against you? Like, because you're 6'4", right? Like, what's the best thing they can do for anyone who plays netball?
Look, I think most defenders think that pushing me around is the best move, but I will say the best move against me, especially if I'm taller than you, is to win the ball before it even gets to the circle. If
Okay.
it's in the circle, I'm going to beat you 9 out of 10 times, either by jumping it or outreaching you. But if you can pick the ball off before it even comes to me, then I don't even have a chance to shoot a goal.
Okay, that's good. How many goals have you scored? Any idea in your career?
Oh, thousands. I think I shot my 7,000th goal in the competition last year, so that's not too bad.
Okay. And I know, with Corona that all sports are off at the moment. Any idea when we can see you back on court?
Yeah, look, we're waiting on some government okays, but hopefully we'll get back training together soon. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're going to get back out on court end of June, start of July.
Okay. Well, look, Caitlin, what a pleasure to talk to you and have you as our first guest for Saturday Sports Shorts. I reckon you're a legend. So thanks very much. Good luck with the dogs. Training Tilly there. We're pretty lucky to have a puppy like that, and I can't wait to see you back on the short. Thanks, Caitlin.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, she is the best. Caitlin Bassett. All right, that is it for Saturday Sports Shorts, our first time around. Next week, another sporting legend to take us through their warm-ups and how they get sweaty and then their special skill as well. little secret. And what I'd really love to see during the week is your videos come in about your Saturday sport legendary status, like what you did. You've done something. You had a moment. Share the moment so other people can go, I wouldn't mind being like that. That's it for this week. Superstar next week, 10 o'clock on the Mamma Mia Facebook page. See you then. Thanks to Milo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go well.